It's time for another episode of Hops and Hedges, where we talk about beer, landscaping, and everything in between. Season 1 is proudly sponsored by ext.tech, helping you grow and revolutionize your landscaping business. Now crack open a cold one, and let's dig in. There you go. We are now recording. For those tuning in with me today is David Fraser, owner of Bunkie Life. David, welcome.
Oh, thanks for having me so much, Heather. I'm pumped.
I am so excited to have you on the show. I've been following you guys for years. You guys were on Dungeons or Dragon's Den Dungeon. Oh my gosh, what is the thing called?
Dragon's Den, that's right.
Dragon's Den. I would have got there. You know, I haven't even started drinking beer yet. This is a problem. So you're located in Erin, Ontario, and you've been doing this for 9 years?
That sounds about right. Yeah, basically we built our first bunkie in 2015.
Okay.
Just for our own family, and then we started renting it. So depending how you measure the journey, 9 years makes complete sense.
Okay. So how did you and Carrie get into this? Like, you didn't wake up when you were like 11 and said, I'm going to own a bunkie company when I grow up.
Well, my wife has always been had this dream of building a house. So actually, over the last it was about a 5-year span. Carrie and her father and myself a little bit, but mostly the two of them, they built our entire house. So that was a kind of pre-bunkie project. They built it over the course of 5 years, and then I had this bunkie thing, this idea that we can, instead of throwing my parents on the couch, we'll put them in this backyard bunkie area, and they can sleep back there, and then we got a little bit of space. So it was a perfect solution for our little family, and that was originally how it started. It was just like, where are we going to put mom? It was in our backyard, and then I started renting them out on Airbnb, and people were just like, oh, this is awesome, like I love staying here, and get me a bunkie. And so it kind of escalated from there, and it's been a wild ride ever since.
Wow, so cool. And I mean, there's so many things that I want to talk to you about, so I have to try and keep my ADHD brain on track. But on your own property, you've got a number of bunkies then, or just the one? Or
I've got a little village. Yeah,
You've got a village of bunkies. I love it.
The original bunkie is still going strong after many years. It's kind of became what was an Airbnb. It's now my office, basically.
Yep.
And then we've got like a bathroom bunkie, and then a loft bunkie, and then a little summer cabin tucked away in the woods. So at one point, I had 3 bunkies kind of going doing the Airbnb thing with a bathroom. So 3 plus a bathroom. And then since then, I added like a private like cookout kind of bunkie, and then I've got this other spare bunkie. So all in all, I think I'm at 6 right now on the property. If that roughly math. Yeah.
Wow. And so do they each have their own little name?
Yeah.
I'm thinking of like a Western, like a cowboy Western movie where it's like you've got the saloon and you've got the bar and you've got the whatever.
Like one was called the Deep Woods bunkie. One was called the Lofty because it had a loft. One was like we called it the Teacup Chalet. That was
Teacup Chalet. That's cute.
So we had a bunch of names, and I don't rent them out as much anymore on Airbnb. It's mostly just for friends and family now. But at peak, I was renting them like every night of the week, most nights of the week, all basically 3 seasons. So it was great.
Wow. I'm trying to think. It was a number of years ago now. Ed Hansen actually introduced me to you and your company. So Ed is the president at Landscape Ontario right now. And he got me to follow you guys. And I just love how you guys are extending the kind of the stay outdoors for people, right? And instead of taking on this huge thing, this huge undertaking of building a whole freaking house, you can kind of start a lot smaller. And you guys offer everything. So it's a whole kit. It gets delivered. A lot of people, I think on your website, it says like 80% of people build it themselves.
Yeah. So
which is so cool.
Yeah, I'd say because they're like a big Lincoln log set. They're like a big snap together, essentially like almost like the IKEA on steroids version of a little micro bunkie. So most people actually really enjoy the process of like, oh, we built that together. And so it's an experience as well as a really cool kind of end result where you can have a place to crash. And then for the 20%, a lot of landscapers are the people that will come in and build it because they already have experience with surfaces. They already have, a lot of them have foundation experience and things like that. So it's like a perfect tie-in. And it's a great little project to do when you're between bigger projects, So like a lot of people will people are pretty chill about when the bunkie gets done as long as it gets done. And so you can be like, hey, we'll plan you this week. And then in between a couple of jobs, we'll come in and do it. So that's been really successful. Like the 20% that don't want to build it themselves, often they go to deck guys or landscapers or decking landscaper guys
Yeah.
or girls.
And
Yeah.
so how long does it take to build one of these, to put one up?
If it's your first time as like a no experience homeowner, it's probably like 2 or 3 days. If
Yeah,
you're like a crew that knows what you're doing, like most people can with 3 guys put it or 3 girls put together in like one day. Once they're good.
that's so cool. And what a
Yeah.
great thing too for like landscape contractors, because it's one of those things you can add on, right?
Yes.
So if
Yeah.
you're proposing a pool design and you've got a client who just wants it all, like I want
Yeah.
the seasonality, I want the outdoor kitchen, I want this, you can say, would you also maybe want like an outdoor bunkie? Because we can do everything. We'll show
Yeah.
up, it'll get delivered, we'll put it up and it'll be done. And
Yeah.
that kind of client was like, yeah, I want the bunkie, right?
Yeah. For sure.
It's so
Yeah.
great to just add on to an existing job. So very
Yeah.
cool. Um, the other thing I was going to ask too, so your bunkies, they arrive as a kit, but then it's up to people. There's a whole bunch of different add-ons you can do. From you can upgrade the roof to be like I've seen the metal roofs and whatnot on your website, or heating, so in-floor heating, or like a little stove, or
Hmm.
all this stuff. So you can really do as little or as much as you want to do with it.
Yeah. I wish I could show you like up to my right here. I'm actually in one of our bunkies here at the factory. It's kind of a showroom bunkie, and it's got a little heat pump in it, which is
Oh,
like
nice.
currently keep. Well, I came in this morning. It was kind of cold. I heated it up in a couple of minutes, and then all summer it was hot. I would just cool it down. It's those type of things. It's basically like we put together a canvas, and you can add a lot of different texture and paints and different things to it. Like you can turn your bunkie into, in this case, an art studio kind of or podcasting studio, depending on
Yeah.
what the day is. So there's a lot you can do with the structure because it's basically a shell, and you can and a decently good looking shell that you can
Yeah.
kind of basically craft to what you want it to be.
It's funny actually, because when you first came on the podcast right before we started recording, I thought this was like a green screen
Oh yeah,
because it looks so good as a
no, that's
podcast
real wood,
studio.
Heather. It's
It's
real wood.
real. It's
Yeah,
real. It's not a green screen.
yeah.
Mine is definitely not a green screen. This is my I'm a bit of a maximalist and I'm kind of addicted to books.
Those are
So
your real books,
those
authentic.
are real books. Yeah, real books, real plants.
What are you rocking? What are you rocking back there? Like what are the books that are on tap right now?
Oh geez, there's so many. Um, so many. Lots of Simon Sinek,
Oh
Scrum,
yeah.
Traction, which is a really great one for contractors.
We're actually so our company is actually going through the EOS implementation process. Like literally, like last Monday was our first day.
Holy
Um,
smokes.
so we all read Traction, and
Yep.
and then also I just read Get a Grip and Rocket Fuel,
Yep.
and oh man, fantastic! Just like
I'm gonna write this
common
down.
sense. Yeah,
Get a grip and rocket fuel.
yeah. So the Get a Grip is like the story of uh, a business going through the traction process and or the EOS process,
Yep.
and then Rocket Fuel is all about like that dynamic between the crazy visionary guy and or girl and the crazy implementer person and that whole dynamic. So
Mm-hmm.
they're both highly recommended, and depends on where you're at as a business. But I think EOS makes a lot of sense for a lot of people that are trying to grow, but they don't know the complexity has crept in. If you can
Yeah.
relate at all, Heather, yeah.
Oh yeah. And as an entrepreneur, how often are we both the dreamer and the implementer? So it's
Yes.
like you have that internal tension, not with another staff member, but yourself.
Yes.
Sometimes you have to wake up in the morning and look at the mirror and be like, okay, you got to do this thing today because nobody else is gonna.
Yeah, for
Right.
sure.
Speaking of books, you've got a book behind you here. What is this?
Oh
Bunkie
yeah.
Life Extra Space?
Yeah.
You've got a
The Bunkie
book?
Life. I got a book. Bunkie Life Extra Space. Now, really, it's uh, to say I have a book is a little bit extreme. It's a picture book for the most part. Like there's our
I
family
love
stories in it,
pictures.
but it's mostly about our clients. So like
That's so cool.
all their sexy bunkie photos. And then I wrote the actual content for the most part. A lot of
Oh,
it's like
that's great.
how to
Yeah.
do a foundation, how to do that. But it looks more substantial than it is, of course, because it's mostly pictures. But hey, I got it up. I got it made. So
Yeah. And it actually looks like a really nice book. I have a thing for covers, and that looks like a
it
really
is.
nice book.
It's more of coffee table style, if you will, Heather. Like it's good for like grab a hop, grab a hedge,
Grab a
chill,
hedge.
grab some scotch maybe, if you will.
Oh my gosh,
And
I totally just went to Monty Python and the search for the Holy Grail. A shrubbery. I'm in search for a shrubbery. Just grab it. Just grab the shrubbery.
fantastic.
I'm gonna start saying that. Grab a hops and grab a hedge. Speaking of hops, uh,
Yes,
nobody needs to know what time we're recording this at,
it's
right?
5 o'clock
It's
somewhere.
a
It's
little
5 o'clock
secret.
when where our listeners are, of course.
There you go. So I've got mine. You've got yours. What's in yours? What are you working on?
So I'm actually working on an IPA. It's from Wellington Brewery, which is not too far from our factory.
Okay.
Yeah, so like Guelph, Ontario.
Do you remember what the IPA is called?
Uh,
I know,
I
I'm
don't.
putting you on the
Yeah,
spot.
yeah. Um, I'll get back to you on that, Heather. But I know it's delightful.
Okay.
I'm excited to make that. Yeah,
It's a good one though.
yeah, absolutely.
Excellent. And you actually said on your questionnaire that you're more of like a Guinness or a stout guy.
Yeah. So the reason I got into Wellington is they have a good stout, which
Yep.
is rare. I've never found anyone that's been able to replicate the Guinness Stout experience, but Wellington Stout in its own right is quite good as well.
Okay.
Yeah. But
Nice. I'm gonna have to
this
check
is
that
not the
out.
stout. But yeah.
I've got one that it's funny because it's interesting that you said stout on your interview and you're drinking an IPA, and
Yeah.
I'm an IPA girl and I have a stout.
Oh, well,
Because
fantastic. What are you
I was
drinking?
like, so this is I haven't actually opened it yet because I love the sound, so I'm gonna open it so we can get that. But
Yeah.
this is by Broken Rail Brewing. I believe they're in Sarnia. Oh, sorry, St. Mary's. I stand corrected.
Yes.
St.
Yeah.
Mary's. Broken Rail, and it's called Overnight Express Stout, and it's a milk stout.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I gotta try it
So
sometime.
I'm just gonna open it here so we can hear that sound because it's
Yeah.
so
And
satisfying.
I've gone full alky where I've got it in a cup because I'm the boss and I don't want people. I
Right?
was walked into but anyway.
I do
So
that
cheers.
too. There we go.
Nice.
Oh, that was actually not very set. There it goes. And I was talking over it. Oh well. Anyway, so cheers to you, David.
Yeah. To you as well, Heather. Thank you.
See, oh, that is nice. I know I'm like an animal. I'm drinking out of the can. I didn't even pour it out, but it's still good. It's funny putting it in a thermos because I work here. This is my design studio, and I don't have any staff or contractors, right? So it's one of the perks. If I'm working on a design, usually there's an IPA here. I've got my
Yeah.
screens here, got my music on, and
That's
just giving
fantastic.
her.
Yeah.
So, what else was I gonna say? Just staying on track here because I'm so excited. Um, so you mentioned I always like to ask people their favorite outdoor space or place to vacation. You said East Coast. You got family out there, or have you always been
Yeah.
traveling? Or
Yeah. So actually, my favorite vacation as a kid was we had this old ghetto van that was a stick shift, like just piece of crap van, and my parents strapped on the crank up trailer and we went all the way to the East Coast and back. And looking back on that, very ballsy move of my parents to do
Mhm.
because we broke down a couple times. My dad had like the shakes from not getting his Tim Hortons double double and like rage walked 20 kilometers one day to get one.
Very Canadian. Yeah.
Yeah, and it was a great trip. Like I learned how to uncrank and as a 10-year-old like crank up the thing, crank it back down like really really fast because we camped along the way
Yeah.
and just had a great time. I do have family out there, Truro, Nova Scotia. My great uncles out there, but generally speaking, it's just that's that memory attached to it. So I've done it when we first got married, doing it to PEI, and then basically it's kind of like that fabled land that to get out to. And now we're shipping bunkies out there, which is kind of cool. So get all these
So
photos
cool.
of bunkies on the ocean. I've never made it all. The only place I haven't been to in Canada is the Rock. I've never made it all the way to Newfoundland, but I've been pretty far
Okay.
east Nova Scotia. So
Yeah. It's
yeah,
interesting how I wonder how much of that camping and those trips in the van, it's all outdoors and it's nature and it's just being out there and that sense of adventure, right?
yeah,
And I often wonder how those childhood experiences they really do kind of guide us and lead us into something in adulthood. And how lucky we are, people like you and me, that we found joy in something and it's work, like connected to work,
yeah. It is. It's a remarkable thing to get to do what you love every day and get to serve people that you genuinely like.
right?
What I found is like people that dig the outdoors and dig family and dig kind of the basically the outdoor experience. Like those type of people tend to be happier, and so they're a lot
Right?
better as clients than like someone who's like stuck in an office all day and like wants their TPS reports or whatever.
Yeah.
It's very satisfying. Majority of our clients, just to be straight up, are like they're building the bunkies at their cottage. sandwich usually, right? So
Yeah.
it's extending the cottage, it's extending their happy place, it's extending it into the outdoors in a certain sense, and it's always a good vibe. Generally speaking, it's like they're happy that the bunkie shows up, they're happy to build the bunkie, they're happy with the results of the bunkie, and so
Yeah.
I love that aspect. Like, any business, including ours, as you know, like has its like, I gotta like friggin' file this paper, and I gotta like, do this, and like, oh, I
Mm-hmm.
gotta bribe this, but the good thing about it is that that's counterbalanced, at least in our business, with like, a genuinely fun client to serve. And I
Yeah.
really, I don't think I could do that type of bull crap if I didn't have the upside of like, it's fun to work with the people we actually get to work with.
Yeah. It's funny. I often think that too as an entrepreneur, and I know that you and I are not alone, that we do what we do and we do what we love, and we love the people that we work with. And then we have those days where I had a business coach and she called them my CEO days. And it's like, just because I don't have staff and a team, I do need to schedule to sit down, look at my computer at the boring stuff
Yeah,
that we
for sure.
have to do. Blah.
Yeah, yeah,
But beer helps with that.
yeah. Exactly.
Um, what else was I? Oh, see my brain. I just get so excited. Talking about kids, talking about the van. Oh, and you were talking about people who, dig the outdoors tend to be happier. I remember at Fanshawe when I was in the landscape design program talking or studying different landscape architects and famous garden designers and landscape designers and stuff like that. And the longevity, like how long people live who work outside. They were outliving, like historically speaking, at a time when people were expected to live to like 40, 50. These people were living into their 70s and 80s. And it was just, I remember that being just so amazing that there's something to be said about working outdoors and being outside and not being in the same cubicle every day.
Yeah, that tracks with me too. I think the old wiry landscaper meme is like true. Like, my father-in-law is into his late 70s now, but he's
Wow.
jacked. Like, and he's
Yeah.
always worked outside, and he's always puttering outside and doing his own little private landscaping in the backyard.
Yeah.
And yeah, something to be said for just like, I know it's controversial, but like, I think the sun might be good for us, guys. I think the sun might be good for our
You
bodies.
know,
If you think about the last thousands and thousands of years that we,
yeah,
might be good for us.
I
Yeah,
think so. I think so.
yeah.
Um, sorry, excuse me. So, I'm wondering if you can talk about, it wasn't on the questionnaire because I've never had somebody on the show before who was on Dragon's Den. And if anybody's
Oh
not
yeah,
seen
sure.
it, you can look up the episode. It's really cool. You guys were on there promoting your stuff. But can you tell us a little bit about that experience? Like how from start, like you just kind of apply to get on?
Well, yeah. So that's exactly. So we were lucky enough that one of the producers of the shows was kind of a fan of ours. She'd been in the contest and that sort of thing. So she's like, "Hey, you should really apply for this, Dave." And I was like, oh, "Okay." I've been thinking about doing it though, anyways. Like, I've always loved the show. It's one of our like family shows that we'll watch. I watch in preparation. I ended up watching every single episode of the show. Me
Nice.
and my now 10-year-old would watch it together and then we'd chat about it. So I love the show itself. I love like having been through the process. I love just the whole concept of it is great. And so we auditioned for the show. It was during COVID, so a lot of the auditions were online.
Yep.
But we eventually got to the point where okay, you're going to go on the show. We had 2 or 3 hoops we had to jump through, and so the month leading up to that pitch was probably the most intense like time of focus we've ever had as a family. So
Hmm.
we pitched that like that pitch that you see gets edited down to 8 minutes. It was actually more like 2 hours of the pitch plus the questioning and the kind of back and forth while you're there. But that 8 minutes or whatever, like we worked on it for like we pitched it to at least 50 people.
Yep.
And we went back and forth and we had iterated on it so many times. The week of the week of the show, we hired someone to cook our food for us just so we could just focus on just doing the pitch and running it through. Then we booked a hotel because we got a bunch of kids. We booked a hotel the night before just so we could go and like just space out and just focus on it.
Yeah.
And it really paid off because what you don't see on the show is that like we walked like it is like the reality is like the show. You don't meet them beforehand. You walk into this door and then boom, you're in front of all the dragons. And we were the first pitch of the day. So you walk in this thing and then we had our pitch like down so cold that we walk in and then there's all these technical difficulties, but they tell you just keep going. And so we're doing our pitch, but like they're like messing with microphones and like people are confused and stuff. And if we hadn't have laid that amount of groundwork in and just like really done the reps, I don't think we would have. It would have thrown me for a loop. I'm pretty sure. So we just kept rolling with it, and so basically leading up to the show, we prepped like crazy. I don't want to give the whole show away, but like it went well for us. And then subsequently the thing we pitched was like, hey, we think we can do this bunkie thing. I would say, internationally. That was kind of the pitch. Like we're going to go to the U.S. and we're going to get our own factory, and so we made all that happen. Like in the course of that year. So it's been a wild ride, and it was something I would totally recommend. But you got to know your stuff. Like don't go on there and like have any type of like ambiguity or like not knowing your numbers or not having your pitch really down solid. That investment was totally worth it because it is national TV, and we still will be grocery shopping and people are like, I saw you guys at Dragon's Den. So like people do watch the show. So yeah.
So cool. And it is a really good episode. I remember watching it and just being in awe of the amount of preparation you guys had. It was obvious. Like you guys clearly knew your stuff and you guys weren't there to, looking for a handout. It's like, no, we know our stuff. We know where we're going. And if you want to come along for the ride, let us know who's in, right?
That's kind of the thing we like to approach negotiations with, is like with or without you energy, it's happening with or without you, right? So
did you have any kind of coach or consultant to help with the pitch, or?
Oh, so many. Yeah. I mean, everyone I knew who owned a business was like, hey, can I pitch you? Can I pitch you? So like, multiple business coaches, multiple just random entrepreneurs, my uncle who was vaguely successful. Like anyone who would hear us do the pitch, I would give them the pitch. Nice. We pitched a lot to a lot of folks, and then everybody had their own little take on it and kind of sanded it down, and it got a lot better over the course of that month.
Yeah. So you kind of hinted at it earlier, talking about the contest, right? And that somebody was on it. Also not on the questionnaire, but it's such a cool contest, and you guys do this every year. So can you kind of give the listeners, anybody tuning in, what is this contest? And
yeah, sure. So we started just locally in Ontario, where we gave a bunkie away, essentially was the contest. So it's not just throw your name in a hat. It's also, you can participate and you can do things like share about the contest on social media, or tune into a live stream, or I started doing these like meaningful connection challenges. So like call your mom, like things like that, right?
Yeah.
That kind of tie into why people get bunkies. And so people, like a minority of people, some people just enter and their names in the hat, and that's cool. But then some people get really into it. Like, people are legitimately, it's the month of January is usually when we do it, or around that time. And some people, it's like, oh, it's contest time. And it's like, so to go to every live stream. Yeah. And it's interesting. We just hired someone about 2 months ago. And so we hired her, great employee. And we started chatting, and she's like, yeah, so I was in your contest. It's like, cool. She's like, yeah. So like, I'm the type of person that like, when someone challenges me, like I have to do it. I can't just like check the box and not do it. So she was like, yeah. So one of your meaningful connection challenges was, reach out to somebody that you haven't reached out to in a while and say something that you need to say, right? And she was telling me about how she had somehow fallen out with her brother, and they hadn't talked in like years. Wow. And she called him, and they had reconnected, and they were now, the relationship had been restored. And I was like, whoa, like
so cool.
You do things in the world and you throw them out there, and it's interesting to see it come back. Like, not that it's about me, but it's cool that like people actually out there are some of them, the minority, but some people are kind of responding to that type of thing. And that's really cool to see, like that, the amount of things people will do to get that free bunkie is pretty intense. So we have to use that for good. Have to use it for good.
Yeah. No, the contest is awesome. I've also been in the contest. Haven't won yet, but fingers crossed. It's in my calendar for next year, right? Just keep doing. So, it's interesting though how you say, you put a call to action out there, and it's not about buy a bunkie. It's not, it's not. It doesn't cost anybody anything, but you put a call out there saying, listen, if you have somebody in your life that you haven't talked to in a long time, give them a call and say what you need to say, right? Like that's your call out, and the effect that that had on one person, it just it just makes my heart sing, that we can put something out into the universe, out into space. Right now we're doing a podcast episode. It's 2024, and maybe 5 years from now, somebody's going to listen to this and something's going to resonate with them, or somebody's going to listen to this and go, I'm going to enter this contest, and they might win a bunkie,
Yeah.
Like, you just don't know. The
Exactly.
more you put stuff out there, things just happen, and I think it's just magical. So
Yeah, I agree.
keep
And
doing
it's
that.
such a privilege. It's such a privilege to do what we get to do, right? Which is serve
Yeah.
people. But you get to, like, what I've realized is like there's levels to it, and like obviously base level is just like make sure the landscaping gets done, right?
Yeah.
Like that's like base level. But there's so many levels you can go above that where you can really like start thinking about how can I really deeply serve this person, and when you start thinking that way, like it's like you can't predict exactly, but it's going to open up in really interesting ways that you would have never expected.
Right. It's funny. I've often thought about if I was to write a book, and I will, because I feel it in my soul, like I feel like there's a book there, but it's
Yep.
going to be called something like I'm Just a Landscaper, in quotations, because
Yep.
there's so much more. And I often kind of joke that when people hire me, they're looking for a landscape designer. They don't realize that they're also getting a life coach.
Yeah. So true.
Let me just
Yeah.
drizzle a little bit of optimism in your life and maybe a few life lessons here. But we're talking about plants and gardening.
Yep.
So
yeah, I always say like when people buy a bunkie, they think they're buying a bunkie, but they're actually joining a cult, right?
yeah, right.
It's like cult of positivity and like trying to help, you're like trying to do those little subtle things that actually make a huge difference in other people's lives, right? Like we have we've got a really great little private group of people that have bought bunkies, and it's across Canada and even into America now.
So cool.
And so like there's just some cool stories. Like one couple met by building bunkies together. Now they travel and they build bunkies. She's a mortgage broker, but like it's their fun side hustle is to go and build bunkies for other people. And
man, that's
it's really cool to see like people across the country, like, oh, I'm in Vancouver. Can I pop in and see your bunkie? I want to check the window size, or like things like that. I really love that that aspect of things, and I would have never thought that was even possible. But when you open yourself up to like, hey, like there are levels to this. We can go deeper, and a lot of people want that. Not everybody. Some people just want the bunkie, and that's cool. Like no problem there. But the people that want that, it's really cool to see that kind of develop and grow and just blossom into something I wouldn't have expected.
Yeah. And also, I mean, if you've got a bunkie and you've got two people staying in a bunkie, it's very difficult not to reconnect.
Yeah.
It's like the beds are right there. You are in an enclosed space and you guys are going to reconnect. I love it. So it's interesting too, how it connects to landscaping, because there's something that historically a lot of landscape architects and designers do, where you build a structure. I mean, you have a function. The bunkie has a function. People can actually stay in it. But also for garden design, there's this concept, especially because in Ontario, we're stuck in our houses a lot of the time for winter.
Yeah.
When you look outside, you look out the window and there's a structure, there's a building, there's a gazebo, there's a pergola, anything like that, where it draws your eyes outwards and you don't have to physically be in the bunkie to enjoy that moment. You could be washing the dishes in the middle of winter. It's a blizzard outside, and you look outside and you see the little cabin, the little bunkie out there. And in that moment, you have this little cozy bunkie feeling.
Yeah, there's that Danish word. I think it's called hygge, or like Hygge, and we don't have that word in English, but it's like that cozy feeling. And yeah, we try to like, I think that those little bunkies and those type of like kind of things, or even like a fireplace setting, even if it's too like, it has that hygge. I'm not saying it right. I don't know what the word is.
I think it's like hygge or heigel, or it's funny because I actually have a book on it. But I don't, it's somewhere in my library. I will put, I think it's Hygge.
I think you're right. Yeah.
So I will put a link in there. So we've got about 7.5 minutes. So I've got a couple more questions for you. Talking about gardening, right? So we've got bunkies, but I always like to ask people about gardens. And you're, you said anything that grows food. So do you do a lot of that at the house?
Okay, pre-kids, PK.
We had PK.
epic. We had an epic garden. It was massive. Canning pickles. Like I made my own tomato sauce. It was legit. Grew a ton of potatoes. That's really scaled down. We have some raised beds now that my in-laws who live with us are growing in, and I've got. But like, I don't want to murder plants. I want to like allow them to thrive. So I'm out of the gardening biz right now, but I'm going to be a green thumb gardener in my late 50s, and once I kind of chill out. But this summer I did do. Have you seen grow towers at all? Have you messed around with the aeroponic grow towers? So I did the trial one this year just to see if I could get going, and super impressed with how much I could grow. I grew a ton of tomatoes. I grew peppers. I grew like as much lettuce as I could eat every day. In a little tiny little grow tower. It was really fun. So that was kind of like my science experiment / gardening this summer, and that's as far as I got. But
so is this an indoor one or an outdoor one? The grow tower.
It was outdoor. It was outdoor for me. It could probably move indoors if I go that direction. So it was outdoors. But yeah, just a little small one. I can see some wisdom in building your own because they're very expensive if you buy the industrial ones. For what you get, it's basically a big pipe of PVC at the end of the day with a little pump.
I've seen a lot of the hydroponics and stuff, and a lot of times they're showing them with lettuce and greens. And as much as I like salad, I can't eat that much lettuce.
No, you really can't. Like the little Amazon grow tower that I got is more than enough salad for me. But I did tomatoes. I successfully got tomatoes going, and I got peppers. So you could kind of mix it up. But yeah, if you want to grow substantial things, you're gonna like a root vegetable. You're gonna need to have earth for sure.
Yeah. Well, and I heard you say that you used to can pickles. So if you can also send me your canning pickle recipe, because I kind of have a thing for pickles.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd recommend ours. It was like
you don't know if you'd recommend yours.
I hadn't got to perfection yet. I was
just working on it. Okay. And what about houseplants? Have you got a houseplant that is either the bane of your existence or something you actually enjoy? Besides the fake plant behind you. Which looks great, by the way.
It's 100% real. No, yeah. So I've got an aloe vera plant at home, and I've got a bunch of the ones that you have to water once a month. And pre-kids, I had more stuff going on. This is pre-PK, but post-kids, how they love to basically dig in the dirt and throw it all over your home. I'm trying to minimize that, so it's just a few selective window well plants that I can kind of manage and not murder. So
nice. Cacti are great for kids. Because
sure.
they'll only dig in it once.
That's a good point.
Yeah. That's my little bit of parenting advice from someone who has no children.
Okay.
You're welcome for that.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
Too funny. What about equipment? Do you have a favorite piece of equipment? Something that's like a tool or a piece of equipment that's like, this is a game changer?
So obviously most of my stuff is for building bunkies, although we're out of the install game. We're into the manufacturing and great experience, but not in the actively building. That's where the landscapers and our kind of selected list of people we recommend come in. But when I was doing bunkies, I really loved, the little pancake compressors. They're very small. But you can lift them and carry. I loved. I don't know the exact brand, but it was a little one that I could just take on the job site. I used to be hauling like a full-on compressor to jobs. And our kits are easy. You can do it with a hammer, but if you want to do it at scale and make money doing it, you have to have speed. So the compressor was so key for nailing the roof boards and floorboards and stuff down. So I love that little micro compressor. I still have it. And there's a little Stanley. I don't know if this is still a thing, but it's a little Stanley gripping angle grabber thingy. I don't know what it's called, but it was perfect for wedging a board in and just kind of tilting it a little bit. I use that a lot. Yeah, I'm like an old school tools guy. I like the Sawzall and just like the when you get that perfect tool and the right amount of leverage on a board, it's really nice. So especially when we're building our own house. It was really nice when you're trying to put a 2x4 and hang it from a joist hanger, and it just never fits right, and you're
and it just fits.
That's a good feeling when it just
I personally, I'm a big hand tool person. If I can use something that's a hand tool and I don't need to plug something in, that's what I go for.
Yeah, me too.
But a nail gun is a lot of fun.
Oh, it's a lot of fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you messed around with the pass load, like gas powered nail guns yet?
A gas powered one. No.
It's compressed air or gas, and so there's a cartridge you throw in there. I think there's a battery too.
Oh,
I don't
okay.
have one yet. Have you seen these yet? They're fantastic. So it's like a nail gun, portable, no tubes, and it's fun, really fun.
I'm gonna check this out.
Yeah, I think
Uh,
it's
Pinner or nail gun. Okay.
yeah.
Um, okay, so we talked about your contest, which is really important. So if anybody's listening, doesn't matter what time of year it is, put it in your calendar because you're gonna want to check that out. What is the price range of your bunkies?
So if you exclude our little bathroom bunkie, which is kind of more of like an accessory building, our smallest bunkie is our summer cabin, 100 square feet. It's about 6 grand Canadian, and goes up to about on the high end maybe 18 or 19 ish. We're gonna have one coming out that's about 23,000 Canadian. That's gonna be new. So that's kind of
Mm-hmm.
the range, and that's ranging in size from like 100 square feet to like 199 square feet plus a loft. So um, that's kind of the range, if you will. Our most popular model is the Haven Ultra, which is like 100 square feet on the ground floor, 120 square foot loft, and it's about
Awesome.
16. It's about 16K.
Well, David, that is it for us. We're out of time, but I hope to one day be an owner of your bunkie so I can join the cozy bunkie community. It'd be super awesome. It was great having you on the show,
Oh, such a
and
pleasure.
I'm sure I'm gonna see you around.
Yeah, likewise, Heather. Thanks so much for your time, and
Excellent.
thanks for inviting me on the show.
Hops anytime. Go out and grab a hedge today, okay?
Okay, all the best.
Cheers. That concludes this week's episode, hosted by me, Heather Gerard at My Landscape Artist. Now, before you go, here's some info about our sponsor, ext.tech. In today's fast-paced world, your landscaping business needs modern solutions to keep up with the change. That's where EXT comes in. EXT is revolutionizing the way you manage projects and streamlines your landscaping, snow removal, and construction operations. Instead of juggling 5 different software packages, endless spreadsheets, losing track of leads, and missing out on potential sales, you could be leveraging AI job routing, client management, and financial insights with a modern mobile app that employees love to use. With EXT's flat rate pricing, you'll never be caught off guard. If you're ready to revolutionize and grow your landscaping business, visit ext.tech today to learn more. And for additional savings, use the code HOPS10 at checkout, or just tell them that Heather sent you. See you next week for another episode of Hops and Hedges.